So let's name the following: H2SO4. So you start this out, first thing you should notice, you say, booyah, that's got an H out front. We know because of the fact that's there, this has to be an acid. And so we go through our acids, we say, is a cation hydrogen? Yes, go to 9. If it's got H for the first element, it's an acid. We already established that. We go to 10. Does this have 2 elements? H2SO4? No, it has 3. So it's not a binary acid. We're going to go on to number 11. If it involves 3 elements, it's ternary and is named for the polyatomic ion produced in the aqueous solution. So the question is, what is this polyatomic ion? What is SO4? And so to find what SO4 is, we say, let's first take a look. Let's look at our polyatomic ion sheet. Is this on here? And SO4, we look for that. Oh, yes, there it is. SO4 is sulfate. And so we have sulfate for this guy right here. And so we know you have sulfate. And so we have sulfate here. Now, what's going to happen is, because the fact that this it ends in 8, it tells us if the ion ends in 8, the acid will end in ic acid. And so what we're going to do is we're going to knock off the 8. We're going to add the ic acid to the end instead. And so as a result, our answer here is going to be sulfic or sulfuric. And either one I would accept here, acid. Okay, technically, if you follow the rules, it probably would be just sulfic acid, but this is one of these that it's just traditionally been called sulfuric acid for the way we set this up. And so this would be what our answer would be. It's an acid because it starts with hydrogen. It is sulfuric because of the fact that it has sulfate. Drop the 8, add ic acid, and sulfuric acid. Our next one, HBr. Starts with hydrogen, it's an acid. Next question, does it have 2 elements or more than 2 elements? It has an H, it has a Br, that's 2 elements. And so as a result, this is going to be a binary acid. In binary acids, it says that the name is based solely on the non-hydrogen element, and the non-hydrogen element here is bromine. And so let's take a look at how we're going to change the bromine here. It says we're going to start off by starting the name with hydro. And so we know we're going to put hydro out front. We're going to add that to the front of the bromine going on here. The next thing we're going to do, it says that it will end with a modified name of the other element. The ending of the other element is replaced with ic acid. So we're going to drop the INE and add ic acid. And so as a result, this becomes, for our final answer, hydrobromic acid. So hydrobromic acid. And that's going to be the name of HBr. All right, let's take a look at our next one. HNO. It's clearly an acid, starts with hydrogen. Excuse me there. Starts with hydrogen, so we know it's an acid. Continuing on this right here is that we say, does it have 2 elements in it? Answer is no. HN and O, this is going to be a ternary acid. And for ternary acids, we say it's based only on the polyatomic ion. The polyatomic ion that's going to be here is NO. No. And we look at that on our polyatomic ion sheet. And is there an NO? We say, well, no. We do have, however, nitrate. Nitrate's NO3. And so we say, well, NO is sort of similar to NO3. The only difference is it's lost 2 oxygen atoms. But we say, remember that. Remember back from our section that's on the anions that if you have a polyatomic ion which loses 2 oxygen atoms, that's going to be number 24. If the polyatomic ion contains 2 less oxygen atoms in the 8 form, then it's given a prefix of hypo before the name. And so in this case, it's not going to be nitrate. This is going to be hyponitrite. Is going to be what NO would be. And so we'll write out hyponitrite would be the polyatomic ion name. And so we have hyponitrite, but then we got to turn this into an acid. And so if you look at the acid on back to number 12, or not 12, but number 11 again, where it talks about ternary acids, it says if the name of the polyatomic ion ends in ITE, ends in ite, then the acid will end in us acid. So we get rid of the ITE, and we're going to add OUS acid to the end. And so the name of this one will be hyponitrous acid. So hyponitrous, NITROUS acid. And so that would be the name of our particular HNO, hyponitrous acid.